everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a video about long distance relationships. I've been in a long distance relationship for about a year and a half, maybe just a bit under, because the start of it we were together. But I just kind of want to share my tips and experiences and maybe help those people who, you know, want a little few tips and tricks that work for me personally. I'm by no means a relationship expert, but I just want to share these experiences and things that, you know, help me deal with the distance and, you know, missing them. And hopefully I can help you guys, or maybe you just want to hear more about my day-to-day kind of stuff. I've got my little notebook filled with bits and pieces for me to talk about, and I just want to do a small disclaimer saying that this video might be a little bit mushy and soppy, but that's because this is between me and Josh really. These are sort of things that I don't talk about openly with the world because they're things that I personally do to help me deal with the distance. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and I by no means am trying to, you know, prove a point about long distance or shove this all in your face. I just would like to, you know, share my little tips and tricks and maybe help out those people who are in this situation and struggling, or maybe if you're even thinking about getting yourself into a long distance relationship but you're not sure. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'm gonna shut up now. The first thing that I take full advantage of, which is kind of a given, is video calling sites and apps and stuff such as Skype and Google Hangouts and Facetime. I don't know where I would be without Facetime. When Josh and I first started out, I had a BlackBerry and I was waiting, I think it was a good 2 or 3 months until I could upgrade, and I was just like, oh my god, I just want an iPhone so that I can FaceTime. It will be so much easier. And we were having to Skype, which worked okay because, you know, Skype's Skype and you can see and hear each other, but it's not the clearest all the time. So I was just waiting for the day for me to get an iPhone, and then it was so much better after that because we could FaceTime and then also Snapchat as well, which sounds a bit weird, but I do kind of consider Snapchat as a form of communication because it's kind of just like sending a text saying, oh, how are you today? It's just nice to kind of get daily updates and stuff. The second thing that Josh and I really like to do is write each other letters. And although it's considered an old thing now and, you know, we're in this digital world, nothing beats getting that letter come through the door and, you know, it's handwritten, you know, they've taken their time to sit down and write it, and it's just hearing their thoughts, well, reading their thoughts. It's just really nice, especially for me because Josh is an illustrator, so you know that his is going to be really nicely written with drawings and stuff, and the envelope's going to be all nice, and you know, I try my best to make mine as nice, but nothing beats his. But I really look forward to them, and they're just so nice because he's the one who started it off as well. I actually have a writing set. I wonder if I can get it. It's down here, and it's a me to you set. Sorry, my ornament's knocking, but it's basically you get all these coloured envelopes, and then I'm gonna try and lift it. Has little paper as well. I know it's kind of girly to send to a guy, but I think it's cute and Josh doesn't mind. And then it also has these stickers as well, which are really cute. So yeah, that's what I'm currently writing my letters with at the minute. The next thing that I really like to do is to plan ahead, no matter if it's months down the line. I'm a very organised person anyway, but the fact that when you plan ahead in your relationship, when you're long distance, it makes it so much easier to kind of look forward to that next time you're going to see them. Because if you see them and then you're like, oh well, we'll just arrange something, then I find it really hard to kind of deal with missing them because I don't know when I'm going to see them next. But if you kind of take that time to look at your calendars and think, I know this is months down the line, but this weekend is good, sort of thing. If it's a weekend that you see each other, I don't know. But that's kind of when me and Josh see each other because we both work full time. So we usually come down on the Friday night after work and then stay the Friday, Saturday, go home Sunday, which is never long enough these days, but what can you do? The next thing that I love to do, which may not work for everybody depending on how far your distance is, but that's taking little mini breaks together. We love to go away, even if it's in England. We go camping a lot in his nan's static caravan, I don't know if you consider that camping, but it's really, really nice. We go to Hayling Island, which is by the coast, so it's right by the sea, and when the weather's nice, it's just amazing. And even if the weather's not nice, you know, we're still together, and we're inside the caravan, we get to cook together, and just talk, and have that time to just be together. Even if we're not out doing activities, you're just able to have each other's company, which, you know, you don't get to do in long distance, and having that time together is just so, so nice. But also as well, if you can, we have taken 2 holidays abroad together, but one was with my family, so I guess it was still a holiday together, but it was just nice to have that experience together. But we did have our own holiday to Benidorm in last year for my 21st, so not this birthday gone, but the one before. But like I say, not everyone can have that option, and we can't really have that option a lot. It's taking us a long time to save up for our travelling, but that's the reason why we haven't had a holiday this year, because, you know, that money's going to go towards next year, and we're just going to have an even bigger adventure. So really looking forward to that, and I'm going to stop talking about holidays now. The next thing I think is quite critical, especially when it comes to me, and that's keeping myself busy when we are apart. Because the second I sit down and start thinking, oh, I wonder what Josh is doing, I think, oh, you know, I miss him. Again, with the planning ahead with my friends and thinking, what, when am I here, when am I not here, I can see you then, blah, 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 and then, you know, having the travel to map it all out, and just, my brain is constantly going, it's just absolutely mental. Also just taking up hobbies and stuff, like I love to bake, which is something I find really therapeutic. I also enjoy lots of sports. I have been playing tennis with my mum throughout the summer, which has been really, really good. I've also been playing netball with my staff team, but unfortunately I've had to stop that this week because I broke my finger. You can't really tell. I usually have it wrapped up in a little bandage, but because I've been kind of getting ready, showering and stuff, I haven't put it on yet because it just gets covered in makeup and stuff. So yeah, I managed to break my finger. Just sidetracking for a second, I basically went to defend a ball, and you know your full hand should take the impact. My one finger took the full impact of the ball, and you can't really see now, but it was ridiculously green. But it's not so bad now, it's just stiff more than anything. I mean, I can bend this one just kind of didn't do a whole lot. The next thing that Josh and I both do is sending each other surprise text messages, just completely out the blue. Nothing to do with, oh, morning, how's your day? Just things like, I'm gonna get super cheesy now, but just saying, oh, you know, I'm thinking about you, da da da, I loved this, and you know, I'm really looking for, I can't wait for the day, and just like future things, and just mushy things that I don't need to mention, but just surprising them with little comments which will make their day. The next thing that I do, which I don't even just use for my relationship but also upcoming events in my life, is have a countdown app. And I just have this one. I'm sure there's millions that you can have, but I've currently got a countdown for Christmas, when Josh and I go travelling, and also when it's our 2-year anniversary. But a lot of the time I put in the next date that I'm going to see him, and I think, oh, it's a countdown for that sort of thing. But currently we don't actually know when we're next seeing each other, which is quite rare because recently we've, you know, been quite good at that. I haven't really looked at the settings of the app, but it kind of, when it gets to a certain period of time, say maybe a month or 10 days or something, it will buzz and it will say, it's only a month till blah blah blah, it's only so I like that as well, because sometimes I don't, it's not like I check it every day, I just kind of have it running in the background. And then I think the other day mine went off saying it's 3 months till Christmas, and I was like, oh my god, that's exciting. The next thing might not be for everyone, and it certainly hasn't been for me this year, but last year I kind of kept a diary of events of what happened with us, because for our 1st year anniversary I made Josh this diary and I scribbled down all the events that happened throughout our 1st year together. And because we kind of met halfway through the year, I had to buy 2 diaries and stick them together, and then I kind of did a wrapping around it and had photos of us on the front, and it said our 1st year. I know it's really cheesy, but it was nice, you know, for him to read and as a personal gift between us. and I just found keeping a diary of our events, it was a really nice, exciting project, which he obviously knew nothing about. But it was nice for me as well to look back on and think, oh, you know, we did this month and blah, blah, blah. But this year, we've kind of just been a lot busier, I think, and I have other ideas for our other anniversaries and stuff, but it's nothing that kind of dedicated. The next thing that I love to do is to take pictures together. Not just to capture the moment, but it's also really nice to look back on when you're not together, and then you can think, oh, I had such a nice time at that event. Josh and I don't really take that many pictures together. I guess it's more when there's an occasion. They don't even have to be recent photos. I just love looking at all our photos, even our older ones when Josh's hair's longer, mine's shorter, and especially because I've lost a lot of weight since when we first met. It's just weird looking back and thinking, really, I look really different. I love having that kind of stuff to look back on, and also just taking pictures in general for the future, and it's just nice, isn't it? Just like taking pictures. The next thing that I love to do is to make exciting plans together, and even if that's just simply a day out somewhere that you really like Josh and I really like the zoo and just outdoorsy sort of places, just those little events which are really nice to look forward to, especially with the whole, you know, knowing when you're next going to see them. You also know that you're going to do something really special, and not everyone has the money to do that sort of thing. I know Josh and I certainly didn't when we first started going out because, you know, we'd just finished uni, we didn't have jobs, we were getting any kind of voucher that we could have. But now that we're both working full time, it's a little bit different in the fact that we've both got that bit more money to do special things like going out to nice meals and things. But we're also still trying to save for travelling at the same time, so it's a bit of a mix. And these events don't even have to come at a cost. Sometimes my ideal time with Josh is just to sit back together and watch a film with the takeaway and just be together, because I find that so nice. If we can just be together, that's all that matters to me. I'm sorry for the cheese, but I did warn you though. The final thing that I love to do, and Josh does as well, is to plan a surprise visit. And sometimes this can be easier said than done, because you have to kind of get involved with their family and friends and make sure everyone knows about it so they don't start making plans. Because I've had it fail a couple of times, even when we were both at university and I told him, I can't see you tonight, I've got to do my essay or whatever I was doing. And I was coming back from a trampolining competition, so I hadn't even been home. I just drove straight to his house and rang him up. I was on his drive, sat in the car, looking up at his window, ring ring. Hello, I was just like, look out your window. I'm not at home, Mum. And he was at his friend's house. I was just like, are you serious? I just tried to surprise you and you're not there, you just ruined it. So obviously that was a bit of a fail, but I saw him the next day instead. Josh has managed to surprise me quite a few times with coming to Coventry. He texts my mum usually in the middle of the day on Friday, and she's off anyway, so she's just completely aware of what's going on. Obviously surprise visits aren't something that's going to work for everybody, but it is just something that we do like to do on the very rare occasion. But because we both drive, it's that little bit easier because we can both just hop in the car and do it whenever we want. But it's not something that's going to work for everyone, depending on how far your distance is. Josh and mine's distance is currently about 2 hours, which isn't too bad, depending on how far away it is and how hard it is to plan, how well you know their family. It's that little bit more difficult. But Josh and I, we only do it very, very rarely, but it is just one of those things which is really nice and unexpected. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my take on long distance. I'm sorry if it was a bit cheesy, but it kind of had to be. So I will see you next Monday. Bye guys!